Hi, everybody out there. I hope you are all doing well, and I apologize. It's been so long since I've posted a video. Same excuse as always. Been pretty busy and lazy. So I gotta say, I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm about 4 days out of left on the VLCP, and I don't have very much HCG left. So we'll see if I can make it. Because I was thinking about trying to exceed the maximum of 40 days. I don't know if that's recommended, but my hunger level has been in minimum at the best. So that's been a great thing. So this whole process has been probably the best protocol I've ever done, mentally and actually physically. So that's awesome. Also, more importantly, last week I had a huge awe, revelation, what are some other words you can use for this kind of moment? Epiphany. You know, the problem is that I've had those kind of moments before, and they didn't really seem to, um, you know, have lasting effect. This, however, is completely different. And one of the goals that myself and Robin had set up for me to get over this emotional eating situation, um, was to find the reason that you were eating emotionally, and pretty sure that has come to light now. I was actually I was watching Food Network last week, and there was this episode Triple D, and sorry, I love Food Network. I'm not gonna stop watching it. Plus, I love Guy Fieri. So I was watching it, and it was this episode about these diners that are all connected with one another, right next to each other. And so I was watching this episode, and um, the owners had the mother, the grandmother, and then the daughter all there, and they were talking about how they share recipes. And I was like, I wonder where my grandma's recipes are, because my grandma was a hell of a cook. She was the cook. My mom, not a cook. So I was kind of thinking about that for a second, and then didn't take long for me to get hit with that lightning bolt of like, whoa! I even started crying, and the reason for that is to give you some backstory here. The best I could probably, come up with the date, or not necessarily date, but the time frame was it was early in my teens when I started, abusing food in the binge eating sort of way, and I hadn't connected these dots just yet because a couple years ago, about 3 years ago, I was seeing a therapist for codependency. Obviously, one of the problems you have with an alcoholic parent, um, and in within those sessions, my therapist, had me do an exercise, and from that exercise came the fact that my grandma was a huge prevalent force in my life as a young person. She was always around. She lived next door to us in this duplex house. So she was always around. My mom was gone working. My dad was not there all the time. He was a truck driver. So she took care of me a lot. And, I never put the two problems together. And what happened is I put them together real quick last week. And it was awesome because I identified that I pretty much started feeling comforting with food after she moved away. She moved back to her hometown, and so somebody else moved in next door, some other family members. But throughout that whole time, in order to really feel connected and to feel safe, all the things that Grandma did for me made me feel safe, protected, there to give me emotional, um, you know, a lot of emotional stability. Those things, left with her, even though she was somewhat close. But at the same time, when you're a kid, so naturally, the thing that she did best was cook, and so that's what started it. And hey, kitty, go away! You're interrupting the video. So that kind of thing was huge, and to be able to realize that hey, my desire for food came from that desire to be comforted by my grandma, who's passed away long since then, um, is a huge revelation, and it feels great to know that. And interesting enough, if you look back to some other videos, I talked about the power that food had over me and how I said no more. You don't have any power over me. The two things sometimes they don't work the way I've worked them out. Generally, you come to this, epiphany and realize where you started emotionally eating, and then you say, "Yeah, food doesn't have power over me," because that's ridiculous that it would have that kind of effect on a human being. I did it backwards. Either way, it's done. So I'm looking forward to the second phase and see how I react when I have more food options. And really have to start paying attention to the hunger scale, which it's been easy to do in this very low calorie protocol because I haven't hardly had any hunger. So that's where I stand right now. It's a great thing, and again, I implore all of you that are out there, really trying to rehabilitate yourself from food, to really think about where the connection with food came from, and those are some pretty important things. And I'm thankful that I was able to put those pieces together because it's a huge deal. So that's where we stand, and I'm sure I'll hit up another video here sooner than later. But thanks everybody for being supportive, and I hope everybody out there is doing well too.